But go back to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. Because I want to bring something out on that. When we talked about Cush, right? Cush comes from Ham, right? Israel, right? And the Egyptians are completely two different people. Even though they might look the same, they're not the same nation.
So what's that? That's Ham and Israelites.
Right. Like, right. We might be the same color, but we're completely two separate nations. So
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again a second time and recover the remnant.
To recover the remnant, that means the people that are left therein. He's going to get them that are scattered, the remnant, come on,
of his people, which shall be left.
Which shall be left, that means they're scattered there.
From Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Paphos, and from Cush.
Cush, that's the Ethiopians. So we have our people, the Israelites, that are left in Ethiopia. Do you understand? But it's not saying that the Ethiopia are Israelites, they're a tribe. The Israelites, these are the tribes, right? The tribes of the sons of Jacob, right? We have people that are scattered in the land of Cush, Ethiopia. Do you understand that, brother? So no, that's a lie. Come on.
This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. The definition of Ham.
We're going to get the definition of Ham in the Zondervan Bible Compact Dictionary.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races.
So Ham became the progenitor, meaning the forefather of the dark races. Come on.
Not the Negroes.
Not the what?
Not the Negroes.
Who are the Negroes today? Who are the Negroes today? Black people. So here, even the scholars are telling you that what? Ham is not the Negroes. Ham is not the Negroes. So the scholars, the other nations know that we are not Ham. We don't come from Ham. We come from Shem. We come from Shem, brother. We don't come from Ham. You finish that?
He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
So the Egyptians, Ethiopians, remember we had to flee into Egypt. Why? Because they were dark like us. Right? The Ethiopians, they're dark like us. They're the sons of Ham. But us, right? We come from Shem, we're the Israelites. Just because we're the same color doesn't mean we're the same people. The same way as you might go to China and you might go to Japan. They'll look at you in the face and say, like, no, we're not the same people. But you might say, no, you are the same people. No, we're not the same people. So do you understand, brother? Okay, go to Exodus chapter 11.
You get that, Exodus 11 and 7. So what was showing you that these 12 tribes, they're God's chosen people, the so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We are not Africans. Although that we're the same skin complexion, we're separate people. Just like we read in the Bible dictionary that Ham is the forefather of the true Africans. We don't come through Ham, we come through Shem. Okay, read this. Exodus chapter 11, verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog more move his tongue. So the Bible is saying against any of the children of Israel, against any of the children that you see on this sign, shall not a dog move his tongue. God's calling the other nations dogs, they can't move their tongue against us, come on. Against man nor beast, against us as men, against our beast, against our animals, come on. That they may know, come on, how that the Lord doth put a difference, God has put a difference between the Egyptians, between the Africans, come on, and Israel and the Israelites. Although we're the same skin complexion, we're not the same people. We come through different lineage, different lines. Okay, get me 1 Chronicles chapter 1, verse 18. We come through different lines, different forefathers. Do you understand? 1 Chronicles chapter 1, verse 18. Now start verse 8.
The book of 1 Chronicles chapter 1, verse 8. The sons of Ham, Cush.
See that's Cush dealing with Ethiopia, come on.
and Mizraim.
Mizraim, that's going into Egypt. Mizraim, he's the forefather of the Egyptians. Read.
Put and Canaan.
Those are the sons of Ham. Now jump down to verse 17.
Verse 17. The sons of Shem.
That's who we come through. Shem, the sons of Shem. Jump further down, right with that word. Right there, 24.
The book of 1 Chronicles chapter 1 verse 24. Shem, Arphaxad, Shelah, Eber, Peleg, Ru, Sherug, Nahor, Terah, Abram. The same is Abraham.
So Abraham, who's our forefather, came through Shem. Do you understand? And then through Abraham came Isaac and Jacob. Do you understand? Jump verse 34.
Verse 34. And Abraham begat Isaac, the son of Isaac, Esau and Israel.
So that's who we come through. We come through Shem. The Africans come through Ham. So we're not the same people. Let's go back to that history that he was bringing out in Luke 21 to show you that prophecy that Christ prophesied, us running into Africa to blend amongst them, it came to pass. It's really history. It happened in 70 AD. Okay, we're going to get the history right now.
The book of Luke chapter 21 and verse 20. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
So the armies that he's talking about is the Roman armies. They were in Jerusalem at this time. He said, when you saw Jerusalem compassed with armies, read.
Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Know that the destruction is near. Come on.
Then let them which are in Judea.
Let the Israelites that are within Judea, come on.
Flee to the mountains.
Like the soldier was bringing out Africa to blend amongst them. Come on.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
All things that are written within the Deuteronomy 28, the curses like he was talking about, may be fulfilled. All this, the transatlantic slave trade, it has to come to pass. Come on.
But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon these people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
The Israelites left within Jerusalem, they would fall by the edge of the sword of the Romans. Come on.
And shall be led away captives into all nations.
And we were going to be what? Hold up the sign real quick.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captives into all nations.
When you look at the sign, it shows you the routes where the slave ships went. Led away captive into all nations. Bible prophecy, come on.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
So it's telling you the people left in Jerusalem are Gentiles. The true Israelites would have been scattered, and the people left would be Gentiles. So who's in Jerusalem right now? White people and Arabs. Right, so what are they calling them? Read that again.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
They're the Gentiles, come on.
Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
So now this prophecy, we're going to get out the history book when it actually took place.
This is the book of Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor. We're reading from page 84, the second paragraph. In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem.
Because before Christ, the Romans were already in Jerusalem. They already had it occupied, come on.
In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrage and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people.
Talking about the people of Israel, come on.
During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa.
Over 1 million what?
Jews fled into Africa.
Over 1 million Jews during this time period, 70 AD, fled into Africa. This is the history of the prophecy we just read in the Bible. Come on.
Fleeing from Roman persecution.
So now it's bringing out who the armies that we're telling us to flee from. The Romans, come on.
Fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. Really? The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
What color are the Jews?
Black Jewish slaves.
So the history book is bringing out that the Jews are black. Do you understand? So why did this happen to us? You brought it out because of the curses. So why did the curses happen to us? Do you know?
I don't know, but I'm guessing we disobeyed or like went against God's will, word. I'm not sure. That's what your guess.
And your guess is absolutely on point to the T. Get out Deuteronomy 28 verse 15 for it.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So that's the reason the punishments came upon us, because we disobeyed God's word. Okay? So how do you think, because today we're still facing these punishments. Read verse 48 for it.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Today, are we still serving another nation of people? Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
So for food, Tesco's, is it our people that run that or own it? No. So these curses are still following us today. Come on.
And in thirst, and in nakedness,
For food, for clothing, for water, come on.
and in want of all things.
Everything, education, we have to go outside of our nation. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee.
So that yoke of iron that was upon our neck came off our neck once we were destroyed as a nation. Once we no longer knew that it was Israel, but consider ourselves to be Jamaicans, African Americans, Haitians. Okay, that's when we were destroyed as a nation. So, yeah, bring that down. So, read verse 46.
Verse 46. And there shall be upon thee for a sign.
So these curses were supposed to be upon us for a sign. So when we look at the Tesco's sign, we identify that's a Tesco's bag. These curses are a sign to say, now we can look at it and read it. Wait, which people did this happen to? Whoever it happened to are the Israelites. So this happened to us. This is our history, so that's showing that we are the Israelites, read.
And there shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
For how long?
Forever.
So that means these curses are still following us to this very day. So how do we come out of this condition? What do you think? What do you think is the solution?
Everyone follow God, like all black people come together, all people of Hamel, like, do you know what, I don't know what the solution is, to be honest, because we're so divided as people, through religion as well. I just don't know how you can get a group of people together.
What group of people? Remember, these curses are, who did these curses fall upon?
Blacks,
Or what did God call them?
Israelites.
The Israelites, okay? So, the group of Israelites, the people of Israel, fell these curses because they broke God's commandments. They disobeyed God. So what do you think would be the solution? If it's in our disobedience, curses fell upon us, what is the opposite?
So the Israelite people, I don't know though, because
I'm gonna give you the solution. I'm gonna give you verse 1. Deuteronomy 28, verse 1.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently.
We have to hearken diligently unto what?
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments.
We have to observe and do the commandments. Remember, we was disobedient, curses fell upon us. Now, if we're obedient unto his commandments, guess what's going to happen?
Which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth.
So he's going to set this one nation, Israel, above all the nations that are upon the face of the earth if they are obedient unto his laws. Read.
Pastor. And all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So we're going to be a blessed people if we hearken unto the voice. That's the solution. Keeping of God's commandments. Do you understand that? So I'm going to give you a quick and easy commandment. And in your doing so, it's helping us to be obtaining this blessing. Give me 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. These are simple commandments that were not taught in the churches. This book is not a book of religion. This is a book of commandments given unto who? The Israelites.
That's right.
That's all the Bible is only for one nation of people. The Bible is not for all races. It's not for all nations. It's only for the Israelite people. Read.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 3.
And the thing that happened, right? The other nations took our book, stole it from us, and then they started to teach it as it was for everyone. Let me give an example. Let me give an example real quick. Let me give it like this big change right here. They took this They took this image is depicted in the Bible. They took the image and they said, nah, we don't like that. We're going to put this out and we're going to promote this. Look, let me give you an example. If your father wrote a letter to you, and in the first, let's say the first paragraph, he used you by name. And the rest of the paragraphs, he just wrote you, whosoever, you. If we just use the word you. Now, someone comes and stole that letter and starts reading it, and it reads you. Is that letter written to the person that stole it? That's the same thing with the Bible. The Bible's got a lot of yous, whosoever's. It's still written to the same people that it was written from in the beginning, the Israelites. Right. They just stole the book. Read that.
Bring it up. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
So it's going to the hierarchy, the order. The head of every man is Christ. Our head is Christ, come on.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of the black woman, the Israelite woman, is the Israelite man. Come on.
And the head of Christ is God.
And the head of Christ is God. So that's the hierarchy. That's the order. God, Christ, man, woman. Read.
Every man praying or prophesying.
Every man praying or prophesying. When these Bibles coming out, you're in the spirit of prophecy right now. Everyone that's hearing this word of this testimony are in the midst of the spirit of prophecy. So while we're in the spirit of prophecy, go ahead.
Having his head covered.
Having his head what?
Covered.
Having your literal head covered, like you do with a hat.
Dishonoreth his head.
So who's the head of every man?
God.
God and who?
Israel.
Christ. Read it again for him.
But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
Is who?
Christ.
That's right. So now jump down to verse 4.
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered.
Having his head covered, like he got a hat on. Read.
Dishonoreth his head.
Dishonoreth his head. So who's the head of every man? Jesus. So now while your head's covered, who are you dishonoring while this prophecy is coming out? While your head's covered, read it again, verse 4.
Every man praying or prophesying.
We are in the spirit of prophecy.
Having his head covered.
Now your head's covered. You see us not playing with the purple? Our heads are not covered, but yours is. Why is that? Because every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered,
dishonoreth his head.
Dishonoreth Christ. So while your head's covered and the scriptures are coming out, you are dishonoring Christ, our head. Do you understand that? So with the understanding that's being poured upon you, what should you do to stop dishonoring Christ? So what are you going to do? We are your brothers, bro. We are your brothers. It's a bigger thing than me and you. It's about showing God and Christ that you love them. Showing them that you want to be redeemed out of this condition.
I'm not saying I don't believe, but because of all the, because I feel like the Bible's been rewritten, I feel like people have sort of played with it. Now I'm in a space where it's like, what is and what isn't. Understand? Because you have to question things nowadays because people have been playing with the Bible. So it makes me think like all three religions, Judaism, all the Muslims, does it all connect as one? Like I don't get it. To be honest, I'm not saying I don't believe. I definitely believe in a higher power, but it's difficult, man.
Watch this. I'll make it plain for you. Judaism is garbage. Islam is garbage. Christianity is garbage. The Bible does not promote any of these religions. The Bible is written to you, an Israelite, to keep God's commandments. In our disobedience, these curses, hold up one of these signs. Because we read, get this one. No. This one. Get this one as well. We just read these two things. We read all of this in the Bible. Was this tampered with? Did this happen in our history? Prophecy came to pass. We read this all in the Bible. Was this tampered with? No, it came to pass. God said, now, if you break my commandments, this is going to happen. It happened. He said, if you break my commandments, this is going to happen. It happened. He said, if you keep my commandments, I'm going to set you on high. If you keep them. So that's the solution. There's no tampering with it. There's no tampering. What's the problem is, the people that has taught us the Bible have lied to us. That's it. Now you say you believe. Now listen. To believe is an action word. By you saying you believe, you have to, there's action that comes behind the word believe. You know that, right? Watch this, watch this, watch this.
This is the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 32 and verse 24.
Bring it out.
He that believeth in the Lord,
He that believeth in the Lord, come on,
taketh heed to the commandment.
does what?
Taketh heed to the commandment.
They're going to take heed to the commandment.
That's
We read
right.
out the commandment regarding the head covering while we're in the midst of prophecy. Did you apply it? Did you read it? Did you take heed to the commandment? So what is the Bible saying? You don't believe. It's time for you to start believing in this Bible, brother. This is the solution is here.
Right.
The solution. You see so much black on black crime, so much hatred within our communities. We're destroyed people. That's all punishment from the Lord. If you wanna come out of that situation, the solution is within God's commandments. The solution is in keeping of the laws.
It's only in the Holy Bible. It's not in no other religion.
No, there's no solution in any other religion outside of this. Not for the Israelites.
That's right.
Because the problem with us is written here. Break the commandments, slavery. Did it happen? He said, now keep the commandments. Solution. As a people, are we keeping the commandments? No. So guess what? We're still in the same condition of slavery. It's time for us to wake up, brother. We have to start keeping. Get me Romans chapter 2 real quick.
Bring it out.
Romans chapter 2 verse 13. We have to start applying. That's the problem with our people. We don't want to apply. The basis of taking of a hat. That's so simple. But we don't want to apply it. Why? That's the reason why we're in this condition. Because we're rebellious people.
Right.
We need to stop being rebellious. Read that.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 2 and verse 13. For not the hearers of the law are justified.
Read it properly.
Sorry.
For not the hearers of the law are just before God.
So not the hearers of the Lord are just before God. You heard the law. That doesn't make you just before God. Come on.
But the doers of the law shall be justified.
But the doers of the law, we have to do these laws. We have to keep them. If you just hear them, doesn't mean anything. But you have to apply. Get me James chapter 1, verse 12. James chapter 1, verse 12.
Teach.
We have to start keeping these commandments. If we stay in this rebellious state, we're going to stay at the bottom of this earth. We're going to still get gunned down on the street. We're going to still get harassed by the police.
Right.
Read.
This is the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 22. But be ye doers,
Be louder, bro. Come on.
but be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves.
It says, be ye doers of the word and not just hearers. You heard it. But you have to now apply. Don't deceive yourself thinking that if I just hear it, I'm good. Don't, because get Amos 9 and 10. We're trying to save your life right now. Little do you know how small the commandment is to keep. If you continue in your sin, God is going to kill you. The wages of sin is death.
Right.
This condition, we're in a dead state right now. And the literal death is coming if we continue to be disobedient to God's law. Amos chapter 9 verse 10.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 10. All the sinners of my people
All the sinners of God's people, come on.
shall die by the sword.
All the sinners of God's people are going to die.
That's right.
That's why we're here to save your life from what? Death. We're trying to bring you back to this kingdom. We're trying to restore the nation of Israel on this earth. Give me Ezekiel chapter 3 real quick. Ezekiel chapter 3. Give me Ezekiel 2 and 7 first. Then I want Ezekiel 3. We're here to save your life. The rebellious mind, the rebelliousness of us has to cut out. We have to cut that thing out. If we stay in this rebellious state, we're going to die in our sin.
Right.
Give me Ezekiel chapter 2 verse 7.
Bring it out.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 2 and verse 7. And thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. For they are most rebellious.
What did the Bible say?
For they are most rebellious.
See how God got us down to a T? God got us down to a T. He said that we're most rebellious. We gave a law and the hat's still on your head. It's showing that the rebellion was with an... That's proof that we are the Israelites.
That's right.
Read that again.
Ezekiel chapter 2 and verse 7. And thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. For they are most rebellious.
The Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are most rebellious.
Right.
That's why we're still in the slavery. Because we're rebellious against God. God said us to do something. We say, no, I want to do what I like. I want to keep what I want to do. I want to, oh, that bit sounds good to me, so I'm going to do that. But that bit, nah, I don't want to do that. My hair may be a bit messy. To hell with that. Keep God's commandments.
That's right.
That's what's required of us.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us, subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.